We're having to fill space. Fill air.
Gentlemen, ladies, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruner.
Yes.
Ellis. Farnham.
Here.
Lawton.
Here.
Luddington.
Here.
Patrick. Voigt.
Here. We do have a quorum. There's 5 of us. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of November 4th and November 25th. You had them in your possession. Are there any clarifications or corrections? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented by the county clerk. Okay, Phil moves, Dan seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They are approved. Next, we have the claims against the county. You've also had these for a few days. Are there any questions or clarifications for which you need to talk about? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims against the county. Phil moves. Dan seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Does carry. Thank you. Next is county board members' claims. These are the meeting amounts that we put in for every month, and also mileage. So you'll know, Russ, and we treat them separately, so it's totally transparent. Okay, so you've had a chance to review those. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve those claims for the county board member. Dan moves.
I'll second.
Phil seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They are approved. Next, we come to the part of the meeting where we ask for public comment. We ask that you identify yourself and stay within 5 minutes for your comments. Are there any public comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to the highway resolutions. The first one is the 2021 County Maintenance Resolution, BLR 14220, appropriating county funds, allotment for the motor fuel tax money for the maintenance for the period beginning 1/1/21 through 12/31/21. Are there any comments or questions? We talked about that at the study session. Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for the resolution to be approved. Phil moves. Dan seconds. Any further questions? Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruner.
Yes.
Farnham.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Luddington.
Yes.
Okay. It does stand approved, and there are 4 votes, so a majority of the board does approve. Next is a resolution authorizing the county engineer to sign an amendment intergovernmental agreement with all 15 townships regarding the construction and maintenance of the township roads. Any further question? We discussed that on Monday morning, so are there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve this resolution. Dan moves. Phil seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruner.
Yes.
Farnham.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Luddington.
Yes.
Okay, that is approved. Thank you. Next is a letter of support to vacate alleys around jail and the Prospect Bank. The bank has requested a letter from us saying that we wouldn't object in sharing in some of the costs around the alleys and resurfacing of them. So, are there further questions on that other than what we discussed? Yes, sir? Or is that a motion?
No.
Okay, what's,
I heard a couple of citizens complained about closing the alleys. I just wondered.
well, they're not gonna be closed except for the north one. They're just, the bank just wants control of theirs, and we would wind up with control of ours. And they have to go through a procedure with the city, and just because we approve this doesn't vacate them.
Is that the alley on the north side of the jail? Will still be open?
No, that, we're past where the liquor store was, would not remain, because that's
Oh,
gonna
about the
become a
south side.
park. Yes,
South side will still be open?
Absolutely.
That's one they were concerned about, I think, so.
well, I mean, and it's not gonna be wham bam, thank you ma'am. It's gonna be, there's gonna be probably a hearing with the city, and they're gonna have to go through all the processes that they go through. They're gonna have to check with the, different utilities to make sure that's all copacetic. So it's a process. We're not taking the lead in it, the bank is taking the lead. They just want our opinion on what we think of the vacation of those roads as described.
No, I just wondered,
No, I'm glad you said something.
yeah.
But if you would let them know that they will have more than just this and you to talk to, okay?
Okay.
That's a motion.
You, okay, Phil moves. Do we have a second? Carl seconds.
And more Carl.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay,
I'll bring her along.
I think the next three items you have had in your packet, they set the time, date, and location for county board meetings, dates, times, and location for study sessions, and times and locations for road and bridge, motor fuel tax committee meetings. Have you had a chance to look at those and or comment to Augie and or Aaron? Does everything look appropriate?
Yep.
Okay. All right, then a motion for the county board meetings.
I'll move.
Is there a second? Carl seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Okay, that does pass. Next is study sessions for 21. Any further questions? Dan moves. You second, Phil?
I'm
Okay.
gonna wear my arm out right if you guys don't get it.
Use the other arm.
You don't have to write
No,
on
I
this
got
one.
right-handed.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And lastly, the road bridge motor fuel tax committee meetings. Any questions further on that? Entertain a motion to approve those dates for 21. We guys just sit here and see if Russ makes a motion. He'll want to get out of here sooner or later. Russ moves.
Yes.
Ta-da! And Carl seconds.
Boy, Carl.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It does carry. Next, we have we have to accept the sheriff's report on his semi-annual fees and file them with the county clerk. Have you had a chance to look at those? So I take a motion, Carl moves to accept and file that report.
That one,
Phil seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It is taken care of. Next is the county clerk's file of the report on his semi-annual. Do you have any comments to make on that, Augie?
No, it's fairly steady from
Yeah.
each 6-month period that we look at it, so
Okay.
So COVID really hasn't affected anything?
it really hasn't.
Yeah,
Real estate is moving just like gangbusters,
really,
has,
yeah.
so.
Motion to accept. Carl? Second, please. Russ seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, and it is approved to place that in file with the county clerk. Next is to authorize the chairman to execute agreement with Bellwether for HR services. You've had that contract. Are there any questions about it? I'd ask for a motion to approve that. Dan moves. Phil seconds. Would you call the roll on that, if you don't
Absolutely.
mind?
Bruner,
Yes.
Farnham,
Yes.
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
We do have 4 and it is approved. Next, we have the authorized chairman to execute an operating agreement for the Edgar County Jet A Fuel Systems. And the name of that company, I'm sorry, hang on a second, just to have it in front of us. Does anybody have that letter? I always forget their name.
It should be in your packet, but
I
I
have
have,
that.
I have it if you need it.
I just wanted to know the name at the top of the. I had it here.
What do you need on it?
Just the name, what's the name between the county and? I can't get it.
Mid-continent?
Mid-Continent. Mid-Continent is the company between
Okay,
the
I see.
county board and Mid-Continent.
Okay.
They will be operating our Jet A fuel until this agreement no longer is in effect. Motion to approve. Carl moves. And Phil seconds. Call the roll on that, please.
Bruner,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Okay, that is approved. Angie, did you have a report you wanted to make?
No. I
Okay,
just-
it's still nice to
I
see
just
you.
wanted to make sure you didn't forget me.
No, we haven't, and I did, I will get with Andy to make sure he did get yours and Augie's comments about the heating and cooling system, so that we make sure that just we close out the actual agreement, that things are taken care of.
Well,
Okay.
as I was writing that, and then I sent it, and then I saw he had just sent something else, so I thought I should have just been quiet.
No, I think it was important that you said something, that it wasn't just on one office, that it was a issue among offices. No, you did perfect.
So you are having issues too?
Well, we didn't know, we had no idea that they had just turned the fans on to circulate the air. We didn't know what was going on, and like the control in my office, it's just blank, I can't even turn it on, so. I
So
just wanted to make sure they knew that too.
So they're not having communication with all the different offices about what's going on or anything?
Well, the problem is the head project manager from SmartWatt is not in the game. He is now,
Yeah.
and, but the Sycamore people have struggled to figure it out. They brought in a Mitsubishi rep who says he has figured it out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's supposed to be fixed yesterday, today, tomorrow.
Actually, it's supposed to be fixed by Tuesday.
It was supposed to be fixed like months ago,
Well,
but it never did.
Mitsubishi has promised that it will be fixed
Yeah.
by Tuesday.
So you're talking about the Hernandez guy?
Yes.
Japanese.
And he's one step behind on what's going on,
Okay,
and,
Andy and I are gonna make sure that we're up to date tomorrow.
okay,
And that the offices get their controls back,
yeah.
okay?
I do have to say though, I really enjoyed the air conditioning this summer and the window units out of this courtroom because you cannot hear.
But you
Yeah.
didn't want air conditioning in December, did you?
No, that's, yeah. It's working good now too, right?
We'll save that for spring, you may need it, about May.
Right.
It's really not funny, because it has been like the Keystone Cops trying to catch up.
here's something that you don't understand, is that Angie's unit in her office is totally shut off. So she doesn't sit underneath cold air blowing down
Oh, I
like
thought you did.
I do in my little office. And I'm talking about her little office. Now, in the big office,
Oh, okay.
it's running,
Yeah.
like mine is running. But in my office, I can't shut it off in my personal office. And so it doesn't take long to get cold in there. So,
And even though they say that's to circulate the heat, that's not what ultimately happens.
yeah.
It cools off enough, and then you're blowing cold air. Now, it may not be as cold as outside, but it's cold enough to make it into the 50s and 60s, right?
Correct.
So,
Well, and if mine was blowing in my office, I don't have a radiator in there, so
ooh,
it would be chilly.
Yes, it would. Anyway,
I just want to recognize that we appreciated you adding on to what Augie had said, and that
Okay,
was
thank you.
very important. Thank you.
Isn't there
Are
a
other
meeting?
offices having problems
No
that
ups.
we're aware of?
Well, they're not on the same system.
It's just
It's
us.
just this floor here.
Yes.
Okay.
Including this courtroom.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I remember I got a call from one of the judges and said that his people were freezing and he wanted me to take care of it right away. That's when I called up Andy, and we didn't know that we needed to put the furnace on yet, because they had told us that it was gonna handle, the new system would
Right.
handle basic cooling.
Right.
Not Arctic cold,
Yeah.
but that it would, and it hasn't done any of that yet,
Yeah.
so.
Isn't there a meeting tomorrow, Smart Water?
Yes,
Is all this stuff gonna be brought up, or do you know?
yes, that's what I'm gonna be there and Andy's gonna be there, okay?
Where's it at?
Well, it's, nobody else from the board can attend.
Okay.
Okay?
I had it
Now,
written down.
I can leave and you can
No,
stay
I
if
don't
you
know,
want.
I don't wanna go. I just
All right?
wanna-
Yeah.
That's the way it is, I didn't know that.
Well, you can't have a majority of a quorum
All
there,
right,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
so we just have to be careful about that.
okay, I just wondered, I knew you said something about the other day about.
Right,
maybe-
Is,
we've been transparent about it,
Is
yes.
3 okay?
No,
Because nuts over here, me and Britta, we're always over at the family restaurant at the same time.
well, you're
Right.
not supposed to be discussing
meeting?
anything.
So you watch what you're saying to your wife. Okay. It can't be political.
Yeah, yeah, he's in there, I'm in there, he's in there.
Oh, we had to eat at
Yeah,
3 different rooms out of
three
Andy's.
different rooms. I go in to get them all stirred up, so.
What, Aaron, I know you probably, do you have anything else to add? What do we need to do to get, you've been asked probably unfairly to become involved in trying to deal with townships not signing or something on the water agreement. Do we need to maybe have me talk to somebody, or rather
Yeah, I'd
than you
already asked-
getting in the middle, would you let me know? So, you know, I really don't wanna get in the middle of that, but if we've got something that's going on,
But as a courtesy, I would ask that you inquire.
okay, I will.
And then let me know what you find out, and Dirk's gonna do the same.
That's fine, and it'll simply be not to be
No, just to find out what's going
divisive or
on.
anything
Find
else,
out
and
what the
just,
problem might
what
be.
do we need to do to get this moved on?
Yeah,
Okay, that's the approach we'll take, okay?
great, thank you.
Augie,
No, I don't have anything.
really? Okay,
Well, yeah, I do, wait a minute. We wanted to talk about the next study session, the week of
oh,
Christmas.
yes, thank you. Do you guys wanna have the next study session? It's gonna be, what is that, the 21st?
Why wouldn't we?
Well, I didn't know whether you were gonna dress up as Santa, and,
Santa sucks.
That's belly
oh
for it.
jeez, don't say that on,
There's no kids in here, all these guys know, don't they?
no, but it's being filmed.
You have to
Oh,
wait.
sorry, I take it all back.
You have to wait to look like some.
No, simply, I know families, you know, everything coming in, do you still wanna have a, study session that day? It's totally up to you guys.
It's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Ain't a matter.
Do we have anything pressing?
Not that I'm aware
That's
of,
not the
no.
court cases that are still pending or whatever.
I'm not sure we'll have any information on them even by Friday, I mean,
Why don't we
not
just leave it up to you, and if
Yeah.
some stuff come up you think we should, then we'll have it, otherwise, no.
Okay.
okay, we'll just, don't show up, but we'll let you know, okay? How soon do we have to cancel that to make sure that it's, cause
Well-
it's not actually a board meeting,
Oh,
so,
well, it's one of those meetings that's posted at the beginning of the year, so it's on the yearly calendar. So I think it's 10 days, maybe,
so we have to decide by tomorrow.
to publish it.
Yeah.
There could be a lack of a quorum
Quorum, yeah.
that
that's-
morning, that's
Okay.
what'll happen.
Did we hear anything from Rick on the meeting with Rick and Jarvis?
They met yesterday afternoon, not on Monday, that Jarvis couldn't meet, they met at 1 o'clock, I have not heard a word.
Okay.
And I did not call this morning, I was talking to other people this morning when I was driving down here. No, the simple answer is no, we haven't. Let's see, as far as the Shaggy Dogs report, he didn't hear me say that.
He will now.
He will now. Hi, Don. Let's see. It's pretty self-explanatory. We have received nothing in yet, basically. We got a few things, but we haven't received it. No state payments, no safety tax. We did get two probation checks, but they're not receipted yet. Of course, the accruing hasn't taken place. Most of the bills that were approved for on today's date will be accrued to last year, so. But our cash flow is improving, so. And it's just circumstance that we're meeting on the 9th and not the 14th, probably made close to maybe $400,000 difference, so. At any rate, that's where we're at on that. Are any questions that I could pass on to him? Hi, Lee. Will the record please show that Lisa Ellis is now with us? Morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
On the, what did we do with the money that we got from Amberon?
That all went into the general fund.
Okay, so no
Yes.
specific bills or anything, or?
No, it went to pay off a
Debt?
year's worth of debt that we'd
Alright.
accumulated since 10,
No.
okay? Okay. Committee reports to the board. Your cat wound healing,
Yeah, the other one got fixed, so they're both hits now.
okay?
I'll put that in paper. I have Carl brought up something about, you want to explain that at the animal shelter? About the person got hurt out there?
Yeah, we're checking that out.
Oh.
I don't think we want to talk about anybody's injury and
Okay.
because of HIPAA and so forth, but,
I have an
The
answer.
reason why I didn't mention the name, I just,
okay.
the reason why I didn't mention the name, so.
You have an answer that we can talk about?
We can talk about it in generally, and it would apply to everybody.
Okay.
So yes.
Go ahead, please.
When an employee needs to get an MRI, Illinois Public Risk Fund will first ask for you to go to Bloomington.
Mhm.
Must be where they have a contract. But if they don't want to go to Bloomington, they just tell them where they want to go, and it's allowed. So, I don't, that's what we were told, is that there isn't, it's not just for one place. You can go anywhere you want, but they lead off with
Right.
who they go with. So, I don't know the details.
Well, I'll do some follow-up on it, because she mentioned that, she said she wasn't gonna go up there, and she wanted to go somewhere else, and she hadn't heard anything from anybody for a week.
Okay.
So I'll follow up on that to
Yeah.
let her know and see,
Okay.
maybe she's heard something since this past
Yeah.
weekend.
I don't know, but we talked to the person there at IPRF, and they said,
Okay.
no, you really can go anywhere you wanna go.
Okay.
Just-
There probably should be a phone number on the, I would guess that she was notified by letter. And
If you'd like to stop in after the meeting, and Tammy can give you
Yeah.
a name and a number, or we can do that for
Yeah, okay.
for the individual.
All right.
That's kind of normal, MRIs are expensive. So even with any insurance company, you usually have to get permission to get an MRI done.
Right,
because
like
they're
they
also
sent me to
expensive.
Indianapolis.
Pardon?
They sent me to
Oh, is that
Indianapolis for
right?
money.
Okay,
Well, it wasn't for work comp though, but it was for,
yeah.
Indianapolis, huh?
huh?
Indianapolis?
That's,
Well,
It is
sometimes
out
the
here,
imaging is available at different places, it's different.
That's about the same distance as Bloomington.
Right, that's
Yeah.
why I just had recalled that. I hadn't even thought about it when I heard it the other day, but,
Well, the other thing is there's different MRI machines, and some people are claustrophobic. So if the circuit or thing is not very big, then they won't do it.
right. I went to
The
one
other
out
thing
here
too.
at the hospital,
Right, I know.
and geez,
I
that thing
know.
was, and
Now
I'm
you
this
know-
big,
you
so
know
you
it's-
could,
Yeah, you know that's the, Tom.
Yeah, we're not,
you know, one of these numbers, and they don't ship you in feet first,
Yeah.
they put your head first in, so you're looking down at this
Yeah.
wall. I'm sorry.
And then
I
they
get
have, actually
carried
have bigger ones.
Oh, yeah,
Open MRI.
like a huge donut,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what you need. Don't put that in paper.
You can't say don't put that in the paper, once you've already
I
said
would
what you don't
appreciate
want.
if you would not put that in paper. How's that?
And we got a big tree at Menards that we have that Christmas tree wrap that can,
No, that's right, that works.
Yeah, well, we're not doing it.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Well, we did get some important information
Okay,
out, so we
I
should.
just, Carl brought it up and
No,
I
I
just
mean,
wanted to.
he brought it up with us too, so that's why we,
Carl's fault.
anything from
Nope.
you? Lisa,
No, thank you.
maybe before we leave, we can set up that meeting before, because I did get your message, but
Yeah.
I was already off duty, so I didn't know. Okay, you have this in your paperwork. This is the committee assignments. I mean, we can, it's administrative, so it does not have to be on the agenda, because it's administrative. If anybody disagrees with it, that would be, I'd like to hear it.
Just in time. So you've read that already? Good.
So,
What?
that's exactly what I talked to you about on Monday morning. So, I tried to balance it out.
What's
And-
the
Yes, sir?
responsibility for drainage ditch, Mr. Lawton? What would he have to do? He may not have an idea.
Yeah, I do not have an idea.
Well, and there isn't much. We debated on whether to eliminate that one. I don't think John ever did anything with it.
Okay, I just wondered.
But if there was some kind of a problem, he would be our emissary from the board to the drainage ditch.
Those are
people.
normally around northern Edgar County, correct?
Well, there's some to the west. Yeah, there's a lot to the west and to the north.
Kansas and that area.
Yeah, Brockton,
Yeah.
okay. I think Brockton probably has as many as
Right.
anybody
Yeah.
down the Horace Brockton Road.
Okay.
So-
Maybe might wanna know what the responsibility is.
Without objection, I'm gonna make this the list. It can be changed if there are interests that change or conflicts that may appear, we can adjust this, but these are our committee assignments for the year, okay? Do we have a need? Oh, yeah, I already asked you, right, if you had anything. I thought I forgot you. Do we, Andy, do you have anything? We've talked about the meeting tomorrow morning. Did you see the, back and forth between John Hernandez?
Chuck,
I haven't opened it yet.
I'm sorry, what?
Get a chance to
Chuck,
open it.
not John.
Okay, John, I don't know where it
Chuck.
came, Chuck. I know that Angie had some words to him
Okay.
and so did Augie, so we're meeting at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning here.
Okay.
So hopefully we can make sure, and the board has kind of instructed us to make sure that they understand all of the implications. I think the feeling is that Chuck is maybe a step behind where everything's at,
Okay.
just because of his location and because of the way things are, but that doesn't make it right or wrong, it just means we gotta take care of it. Okay?
Everything on the same page, okay.
Yep. We did rebuild the health department for their share of the first payment that we made in October. They said it might be a little late, but Augie asked if he should rebill, and I said yes. I think our bill was what, 40-some thousand or 50,000 roughly, and the health department owes us about $26,000, 26 or 27,000, so we'll get that. What's going on? Did I miss?
Well, I don't know how many people got a letter from, that's the time I always say when they don't tell who they are.
We'll discuss that in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't know what
I
I
want
missed.
to
or-
give Aaron a chance to explain.
Okay,
I got one.
You got-
I did not get one, so
Do you want to see it?
yeah, I asked and Aaron never handed it to me.
and Lisa said something Monday,
Huh?
did you have one of these?
You didn't get one? You're not important.
Sorry, I worked late, they said no.
You mentioned something Monday about.
But I don't know. I think.
Let them sign the name if we're
Well, so, yeah, tell me who you are.
If it's not signed, you trash it.
No, I
I
just
know.
was asking
Okay.
information.
Did someone want to ask me about that?
Yeah, can I read it
Yeah.
first and then,
Anybody else not had a chance to read this?
Doesn't make sense.
It's
Well, it
just,
makes sense if there's a problem, if there's no problem. so.
right, I don't think, yeah.
do you in fact have signatures from all the townships that allows you to move their funds around?
We have signatures from all townships to sign their, that for Dirk Mohan, to sign their forms on their behalf to save them from coming in every time there's a change made. It's voluntary, it's for their luxury.
What does that give you the authority to do?
It gives me authority to execute what they ask for.
What does that mean?
If they ask to get a load of rock to their shed for the, whatever, you know, or any of their form work, there's a lot of, MFT administration has become more and more difficult over the years. But I can tell you, to respond to that letter's allegation, that it gives the county engineer the authority to spend your money
As he sees fit.
SEC spit, that is not true. I will tell the board that I am on county engineer forums, and that I have seen instances where a county engineer will order something and make the township pay for it, but it's usually, it's a statutory thing, like if the county board tells me that we've got a school bus that's about to fall off, a culvert that's falling in, the road commissioner won't fix it, and then I'll get some chairman will call me, or someone will say, the road bridge committee will say, why don't you make something happen there? I've seen instances where that's happened, but in my 12-year tenure here, that hasn't happened once. I've never ordered anything, I've never spent any money for the township road commissioner that he didn't work through dirt to ask for.
Do we use a form that the
We use a
state,
form, yes, and the
the
Department
state
of
provides?
Transportation, this is what Jeff probably didn't read, but I copied him on one. The Department of Transportation asked for that 2 or 3 months ago. They said, here's what the manual says, that a road commissioner can delegate that authority to the person that's doing the paperwork. Do you have that form? So I think maybe this anonymous has talked to DOT already. I'm just trying to put this together. But rest assured, there's no problem out there. If any road commissioner wants to respond to this negatively and say, okay, I'm not gonna sign that form, we don't care. That just means they'll have to come to our office and sign paperwork.
And you have a paperwork trail and.
Absolutely.
I
A
look at-
monstrous paperwork trail.
I look at that as, when you want Springfield sending your checks out to each township?
Right, right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good
Now
point.
you've got accountability it comes to you and you see that it goes to where it's supposed to.
Absolutely. We just
Yeah.
administer the motor fuel tax. We take no power from
Yeah,
them.
this person is really off base, isn't
This
it?
person's off base. And I want you to know that your county engineer that you've appointed in his 12-year tenure has never flexed his muscle once in regards to saying, we're gonna fix that whether you want to or not. Never once. Never even
There've been
close.
times
Have we been close? Can you think of
well,
one?
no, not, but there's been times that the township goes, we would like you to do this. And we've expended money on their behalf.
Oh, yes, the county board.
And they have
reviews
said,
that.
no, we've decided we're not gonna do that because
Yeah.
we're not gonna do this. And we don't do that. We don't make them pay.
That's right. In fact, Jeff and I have both been in hot water more than once, because concerned citizens will ask us to give something attention, and then the road commissioner will say, what are you doing out there? Get out of here. That's
Yes.
my jurisdiction, and Jeff and
Just
I turn tail.
Earlier this year,
Yeah. We don't press at all, and if there's a public health and safety issue, I would talk to the chairman first and order something, but I'll say it again, it hasn't happened once in 12 years. Not to say it won't happen tomorrow, but it hasn't happened yet. So is there any questions regarding this letter? Okay. Please feel free to stop by any time with any questions you might have.
Gary, do you have any questions about what's going on?
It's an anonymous letter, I don't pay attention to them.
Okay,
Have you got one too?
that's fine. I
I've not
just,
seen that, but
I know.
I get a lot of anonymous letters in the
Okay.
paper.
that's fine. We
It's
just,
even addressed
you guys,
incorrectly. It's even addressed incorrectly.
you guys all need to know so that when somebody says something to
Right,
you.
that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Right, and we talked about it before the meeting and we're gonna talk about it, so that's fine.
There's nothing there, I promise, there's nothing there for the board to be concerned about. I can't even fathom what the concern.
Why this was even precipitated, I can't
don't know.
imagine,
I don't know either.
so. Maybe I'll get mine today. You know, out in the hinterlands, we don't get stuff as fast as you guys up in
We
the.
love transparency, we love questions at the highway department. Brenda's been there for 20 or 30 years, Dirk's been there 37, they're doing the township MFT, I just oversee it.
Well, remember, this letter has no allegations, other than they just,
No, it says that maybe the county engineer's spending their money,
yeah, I mean, there's not one thing that, yeah.
yeah.
And this group of most of the township road commissioners, you would hear something pretty fast. They'd be in here in Dirk's face or something.
I'm gonna answer that right now to conclude this. The form gives the county engineer the ability to use funds as he sees fit without consulting you. That does not happen. Has not happened and does not happen. Any questions? The county engineer does not use their funds as we see fit without consulting them. Any questions? Okay.
No, interesting.
Okay. Unless Dirk and Brenda's, got some scam going on, I need to look closer at. Thanks, Andy.
Anything else to come before the meeting? Yes, Carl?
I was thinking last night, these villages here in Edgar County, like Redmond, Vermillion, the small ones that don't have a lot of government, but anyway, is there something that we could do to help them under the CARES Act, as far as some type of reimbursement to help them? I mean, I don't know what it would be, I don't understand that much about it, but I just curious whether there's anything we could do to help them get some additional money for some things.
I'm not sure. Okay, here at certain points, the CARES Act started, let's just say, March 30th, but it went back retroactively to like the 15th or 13th or 17th. And each county, each municipality, each city was assigned an amount that was determined by population. And they were, say like Chrisman was assigned $5,000, and it could have been 25,000,
Right.
but 5,000. And during the last 4 or 5 months, occasionally the state would ask, and it's administered through the state, and the care or cures is actually called cures, would ask the city or county if it planned to use all their money. And the reason being is that if they weren't planning on doing it, they could reassign it to folks that did need it. So on December 1st, everybody had to turn in their latest projections and say whether they were going to use all of it or whether they needed more. And we had the previous month already said that we were going to use our 270,000 plus, and we needed another 100,000. But on December 1st, when we did that, which we did it again, we said we've used the 270, we'd like another 100,000. They also asked Kansas and Park Ridge and all the other small municipalities in the state and reminded them that they had to have it used, they could bill through January 31st for anything they expended through December 31st. But if they didn't respond to the survey saying that they still needed it and they needed more, then they've lost it right then.
So they have been
Constantly,
contacted to,
almost monthly.
okay, all the different little villages.
Now, I talked to the people I ran in, for example, Ross, the mayor of Chrisman, some of the townships even got money, and reminded them that it was in there.
Okay.
And the state has done, and I didn't mean to be so long-winded, but I kind of wanted to explain how it was all about.
Yeah.
We had to get, the health department almost missed the mark because they were scrambling around on December 1st trying to make sure that they responded to that. They had like 78,000 that they were available for. So we've tried to do. Now, did I reach out to everybody? No, I didn't, but
But at least the state has contacted them to make them aware of it if they wanted to pursue it.
right.
Okay.
The other thing that's happening now is that the state is reevaluating how much they have left, and we'll know about that soon. But they have a pretty strong feeling that that money is gonna be added to. So there'll be another wave or round of cures money available. Because quite frankly, we still have staff that's getting COVID and they're having to stay home.
Yeah.
Or they're having to stay home with family members because they're quarantined. And we still pay them, but the money's run out to do that. Until we find out that we've gotten a new fresh set of cash that's available from the feds. Does that kinda explain to you how? Okay. Other questions? Do we need to have a closed session for anything today? Okay, which makes me think Bellwether is supposed to get a hold of me sometime today yet or tomorrow and set up our first get-together so we can start working on some of our issues, okay? And I will keep up with that. Most of that will be reported to you in a closed session because it'll have to do with personnel, okay? I entertain a motion to adjourn. Andy? And then Phil, seconds.
I just showed up.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. We are adjourned, folks. Stick around if you need to sign something. Now.